Okay, I'm going to start, guys. I'm going to come in Sukhasana, so seated on top of my blankets. And if you don't have blankets, that's okay. You can come seated on top of a block or blocks or anything that you're using as a blanket, maybe beach towels or bath towels or throws from the sofa or anything like that. You could fold up and use the same way that we use the yoga blankets will work. So we'll cross at the mid-shins, and I like to do that one leg at a time. Line the shin bones up with the top of your yoga mat, and then move over one side to the other. Hand upper hamstring, lower buttock, rotate out and draw back. Do that on both sides. You can bring your fingertips into your blankets and press and lift your side body. Bring the very tops of your shoulders down. And take a moment here to see if your sitting bones have changed positions. So a lot of times when we initially first sit on the mat or on the blankets, the sits bones move in like this. We want them to rotate out and away from the midline. And so as you press your fingertips, draw your abdominal wall back, bring your tailbone down. Focus your gaze out in front of you on the mat or the floor, or even the tip of your nose. Begin your Ujjayi breathing. This is audible inhalation, audible exhalation. Bring the hands together at your heart center. Tops of your shoulders move down away from your earlobes, and there is weight in the tips of your elbows. So the tips of the elbows extend down towards your yoga mat. Close your eyes and begin to center yourselves here using your breath. As you inhale, move your inhalation into your outer rib cage. Empty your lungs completely as you exhale the breath. Your chin should be parallel to the mat, and remember here that your lungs fill up like balloons. So as you inhale the breath, you expand the lungs. Slowly release the breath through the nose with the exhalation. I'll chant Om once. You can join in, or you're welcome to just listen. Om. Exhale your breath, bow your head, bring your chin to the groove of your neck. Keep your breastbone lifted towards your chin and release your hands to the tops of your legs. Center your head, and as you exhale your breath, slowly open your eyes and you can release your hands. Very good, guys. So again, make sure you're right in the center of your blanket. Your legs are crossed at your mid-shins. Initially, let's stretch our arms out. And let's interlace our fingers. We'll bring the right index finger over the left. And then I want you to draw your fingers out away from one another. So pull as if you're going to break the interlace. Stretch your thumbs out. Bend your elbows and take the very backs of your hands onto the very top of your head. And then spread the thumbs. Take the thumbs up towards the ceiling, and the pinky sides of your hands rotate down towards the back of your head. So watch here. And instead of letting your thumbs drop down towards your forehead, lift your thumbs up towards the ceiling. Lift your breastbone towards your chin and draw your elbows out away from one another. Bring your belly button back. Bring your chin parallel to your yoga mat. You'll pump your hands off of your head 3 times through resistance. So use resistance as if someone is pressing your hands back down. On your 3rd time, press all the way up until the elbows are completely straight. Good. Draw the backs of your arms in. Bring your chin again so that it's parallel. Don't hold your breath. So really straighten the elbows here, straight, good. And draw the backs of the arms in towards your earlobes. And then exhale, bend the elbows and release. Perfect. Switch your leg cross. So if you had your left leg in further away, bring the left leg in closest to you. Again, check that you're at mid-shins, and we do adjust the buttock flesh here. So really lean over and move the lower buttock flesh out like this. And then you also draw back. And then we'll take our arms out again, interlace left over right. Start right away, drawing that's right over left. Left over right. Draw the fingers away from one another, spread the thumbs. Bend the elbows, take the hands to the top of your head. Now here my thumbs are going down. They're rotating down, and I'm going to work to do what I can to lift them up. Turn the pinky sides of my hands down towards the back of the head. Lift the front of your wrist bones so they tuck up towards the ceiling. And again, through resistance, pump the hands off the head. Don't straighten the elbows all the way, but slightly up and then back down. Up and then back down. On the fourth time, press all the way up. Draw the backs of your arms in. Move your shoulder blades away from your spine. Keep your chin parallel to the mat. Press the ceiling with the palms of the hands. Now spread your thumbs. And see if you can rotate the pinky sides of your hands here, back behind your head. And exhale, release. Perfecto. You guys can shake that out, and I'm going to go back to my original cross. And again, move the buttock flesh. You can use blocks for this if you'd like. One block would go right outside of the right leg with the fingertips, right fingertips against the block. And take the block in the left hand, move forward here, and as you get as far out in front of you as you can, you'll lift your block up and move it over to the right, kind of angling it towards the top hand corner of your yoga mat, right side. Walk the fingers out, the left hand, the left fingers walk out, so maybe the fingertips touch the very front edge of your block. Keep moving your arm out. Keep lengthening your arm. Great. Now exhale your breath. Draw your upper legs down. Bring your outer feet down. Everyone push the block with their right fingertips and move your weight to the left. As you exhale your breath, left back rib cage down, away from the spine. And then exhale, release. Bring your blocks back towards you, and we can switch the cross and go to the other side. This can also be done without blocks, so watch for a moment. As I move forward, I twist. I'll start with the right arm out in front, and then I'll walk it over, lining it up with the top hand corner of the mat, left side. And I don't want to do this because I want to really move my weight so that I feel both of my sitting bones and both of my upper leg bones moving into the blanket, okay? So lift the side rib cage, move, twist slightly to your left, left fingertips outside of your hip, take your right arm out in front, and then lift your right hand and move your right arm over so it lines up with the left hand side of your mat, the top hand corner. Good. Good, good, good. Guys, take a deep inhalation and lift the belly button up away from the pubic bone. Extend the navel out towards the chest. Good. And as you exhale the breath, see if you can move the arm out a little bit deeper. Little bit deeper. Don't round the spine. If you're hollow in your abdominal area, check. Move the navel up towards the chest. Good. And then exhale, release. Perfect. Perfect, guys. Stretch the legs out in front. And again, we'll rotate the buttock flesh. I'm going to just start arms out, palms face one another for Urdhva Hastasana. So do the floint of your feet, guys. Really press out through the base of your big toe joint. Move your torso up and over your legs, arms out. Inhale as you take your arms up. Now, as you bring your arms up here, you want to bring the backs of your arms in. And spread the inner arms out. So inner arms spread out, outer arms tuck in, and your side rib goes up. So bring your fingers together. I want everyone to inhale the breath, and with your exhalation here, let your shoulder blades move up towards your hands. And exhale, release. Perfect. So we're using the arms to get the length in the spine, okay? All right, so one more time, we'll move the flesh. This time we'll come forward, so if you need a strap because you can't reach your feet with your hands, your position will look like this, out and up, and over with a long spine to wrap the strap around. We'll bring it around the base of the toes. Or inhale up, exhale, grab the outer feet with the hands, one or the other. Really straighten the knees, press out through the base of the big toe joints, spread all four corners of your knees and fold. So here, as you fold, remember you want to spread your back rib cage. You want to spread the posterior pelvis. You also spread the front rib cage and the chest. So don't round. Widen the elbows out to the sides, and almost as you widen them out to the sides, slightly lift them up. And see if that will encourage the space at the back and the front rib cage. Perfect. Bring the knees down, bring the leg bones down, bring the shin bones down. Now tuck your chin towards the groove of your neck and move the very top of your head to the top of your feet. Fold all the way in half. That's great, Hannah. Inhale, stretch up, leg bones down, and exhale, release. Perfect. Perfect. I'm going to move my props over to the side and take Adho Mukha Virasana, or child's pose. And so when you come on your mat, sit down on your heels. And lately we've really been working to not do this, not hyperextend the ankles like this. Do you see? So they're rotating out. I'm almost pigeon-toed. I'm almost... my heels are not tucked in, they're rotating out. So I want to lift up, tuck my outer heels in, and then sit right on top of my heels. They're lined up with my sits bones. And then I'll walk out in front and stretch the arms out as much as I can here. Don't do this. Keep your bottom attached to either your blanket, your block, or your heels. You'll bring your chin down, and then we'll work to bring the inner eyes of our elbows up towards the ceiling. So as you draw the inner eyes of your elbows up towards the ceiling, you'll notice your shoulder blades rotate away from your spine. Guys, inner eyes of the elbows up towards the ceiling. That means you turn the backs of your upper arms down to the mat. Good. Find relaxation or passivity in the face. Deepen your breath and see if you can move your torso, your side ribs out further. Now the inner eyes of your elbows move up towards the ceiling. Go ahead here, and as you exhale your breath, let your elbows bend and rest against your mat. Tuck your chin towards the groove of your neck and relax your forehead to your yoga mat. Very good, very good, very good, very good. And then go ahead and we'll come up, and I hadn't done this one in a long time, but I think I'll do it today. And we'll come over on our hands and knees for a moment, and then we'll lie down on our belly. So we'll come prone on our mat, like this. This is the shoulder one, guys. And so when I get here, I want to bring the pubic bone down onto the mat and relax the buttock flesh. I'm going to start by taking my right arm out to the side with my right elbow straight. Right elbow straight. Left fingertips are out against the yoga mat with the left elbow bent. I want to lift the chest, the head, the hips, the left leg, and it rotates over, trying to reach the toes to the mat. And then we'll roll back and we'll do our other side. Make sure that that right arm is extended straight out from the shoulder. So the right arm is not forward or down, but it lines up with your shoulder. And you come to your belly, lift your feet, make sure your tops of your feet are down. So, and then your pubic bone comes down, your bottom relaxes. Stretch your right arm out, spread your fingers, spread your fingers. Now your left fingertips are against the mat, left elbow bent. Everyone lift your head up, lift the left side of your body off of your mat and roll over to the right. Lift the left side. Now you can bend that left knee, bend the left knee, and you can take the left knee up higher. That's it, and yeah, there you go, perfecto, perfecto. And you guys roll into that right arm. Bring the right shoulder blade in and down, bring the head up The head is away from the mat. That's it. Exhale, roll back center, and go over to the opposite side. Go at your own, go very slowly if you need to. But when you lift up, don't let your head stay against your mat. So it's not like this. Lift completely up. And then when you take your right leg is controlling what's going to go on at that left side. So roll over, open the pelvis to the right. As you roll over, take the right leg behind you. Use your leg. See how you using your leg articulate in your left arm, your left shoulder. Right? See how you're using that leg, whether it means you bend the knee up or you take the leg higher or you reach deeper through the toes. Whatever the case may be, that's controlling what's going on the left inner shoulder. Perfect. And then roll back to the center. Roll back to the center. Perfect. One more time, and this time the elbow's going to bend. So this is a 90-degree angle. And I want to make sure that inner right elbow's down and the palm of the right hand is active. Here. Same thing. Left fingertips down, chest up, head up, and you roll to the right. Left side moves to the leg here. So you see, reach through the top leg. This time, you're still on your belly. Your elbow is bent. It's at a 90-degree, kind of that goalpost shape, right arm. Palms down. Move over to the right. So keep the inner elbow grounded. Keep the palm grounded. Lift the left hip and roll over. Good. Now your head's lifted, guys. You still want the tops of your shoulders away from that earlobe. So the right top shoulder moves away from your right earlobe. And then come back center and go opposite. Make sure you're at a 90-degree bend, and make sure that that 90-degree angle doesn't change when you lift your hips and roll over, because it will. So you can occasionally look back at the left arm and make sure it's still in that 90-degree angle. The chest is up, the fingertips help you push, and you still move your breastbone towards your chin. Good. Come back to the center, push back into Adho Mukha Virasana. Here. What's the difference in that and the one we did before? The bent arm is more intense. Bring your gaze up. Bring your arms out in front. Press through your palms. Lift your elbows up. Come hands and knees, and we're going to make sure that the upper arm bone is lined up right over the wrist bone. Take the toes down, lift the knees up, and let's move ourselves into dog pose. So for dog pose, let's try this, guys. Let's bring instead of spreading our thumbs, bring your thumbs in towards your index finger and relax your thumbs. Let's see if you can push with the heel of your hands. Bring your leg bones back. So upper leg bones and lower leg bones, your shin bones go back. Draw your belly button up towards your spine. Do not arch your back. Take any arching out of your back by spreading the low back, moving the posterior pelvis away. So moving the muscles of the sacrum out away from the spine. Perfect. And then go ahead and come down and rest any way that you would like. So if you want to come back to child's pose, sit on the heels and rest the arms behind you. That's great. Perfect. And go ahead and come back to the hands and to the knees. And we're going to do another dog pose. I'm going to show you what we're going to do. So I want you guys to watch for a moment. So again, I'm on the hands and lining the upper arm bone up over the wrist. I'm going to let the thumbs relax and move them towards the index finger. Now when I come up, the first time I'm going to keep the knees bent and press until I get length in the spine. This is arching, guys. Please draw the abdominal wall back. Take any arching out of your back. I'll come up on tippy toes, and I want to push, and then I'll descend the heels. Press through all four corners of the feet. Push forward with the heels of your hands, okay? So come hands and knees, relax the thumbs. That's a new thing, to let your thumbs relax and move towards your index finger. And then when you come up, you've got to firm the arms. So remember when we did Urdhva Hastasana, I said tuck the backs of your arms in and take the inner parts of your arms out. Do that here. That's it. Do that here. So take the inner chest, spread the chest, tuck the arms in. Now you can rotate your upper arm bones away from your spine. So what you want to do, guys, is take your shoulder blades and rotate them away. Take the backs of your upper arms towards your mat and the inner eyes of your elbows forward. Great, great, great. And then go ahead and come down, and you can just come down onto the knees. Sit for a moment. I'm going to grab my 2 blocks. I'm going to move this. And I think I'll start by coming into Uttanasana. So 2 blocks here, come here, and as I push down, I use that to lift the knee up and bring the foot out to the outer part of the block. So do that with both sides here. So the feet are pretty wide. We've been doing this one a lot lately. Take your inner ankle bones and draw them out, and tuck your outer ankle bones in. So I'm going to do that without the blocks, just so you guys can see. Watch, watch, watch. As you come up, your blocks will be here. Your inner ankle bones are here. Tuck them out and watch what happens here. Then tuck those outer ankle bones in. So that's like 2, you're doing both of those. You're bringing your inner ankle bones out and you're tucking your outer ankle bones in. So when you come up, hands on your blocks, push down, and step 1 foot up at a time. Bring your outer feet to your blocks. You can bring your fingertips or your hands to your blocks. So maybe you need your blocks to be taller. But take any hollowing out of your back body by taking your inner ankle bones out, your outer ankle bones in, to feel that the posterior pelvis and the sits bones spread. Push down onto your blocks. Keep that work going in your feet. Inner ankle bones out, outer ankle bones in. Keep your hands against your blocks. I want you to push down into your yoga blocks and take your inner legs up. Push your blocks. Push your blocks. Straighten the kneecaps. The blocks are right outside of your feet, so they're touching your feet. Everyone bring the blocks so they touch. Now, take your inner ankle bones out towards your blocks. Now, tuck your outer ankle bones in, away from your block. Everyone push your hands and shift forward. Good. Relax the head. That's great, Leslie. Relax the head. Perfect. And then we'll inhale and we'll look out in front. And now you can push to straighten out your elbows. Maybe even come onto your fingertips. Make sure you're forward. You're in all 4 corners of your feet, hands to your hips, and then inhale your breath as you come up. Perfect, perfect. Keep the kneecaps straight. Excelente. Excellent. So, and I don't know if we all have a wall, but I'm going to do Uttanasana again, and let's see maybe if we do it with our blocks. If you don't have them, that's okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, let's see if this will work. Yeah, it works. 1 block between the inner ankles. I'm going to squeeze that block. 1 block at the upper legs. The one that is on the mat between the inner feet is long, in the flat long version. The one that's at the upper legs is half. So what I'm going to do is take the block, upper legs, and into the inner part of the feet. Squeeze the block. I'll come down parallel. And I want to really focus here. Take your outer hips, guys. Watch. In and your inner thighs out, but you're still squeezing the block. And let's see if we can come deeper. Maybe grab our ankles, draw them up. Watch my elbows. You want to really move your head, your side ribs down, down, down towards your yoga mat. Don't be here. Shift into the front of the feet, and this block does move. It moves, and if it moves, that's perfectly fine. Okay, so that first block is between your inner ankle bones, and it's flat and wide. Lisa, can that, yeah, turn that one down. That way you've got a good distance between the feet. You've got a good distance between the feet. Now everyone squeeze that block with your feet. Draw the block into your upper legs. Go ahead and fold halfway. Extend the spine. Exhale, let the torso drape over the waist and grab the ankle bones with the hands. Draw up on the ankle bones first, lift them to the ceiling, and then draw out. Move the ankle bones away from you. Good. So you lift the ankle bones up, the flesh up with the hands, but you really draw the elbows out. Perfect. Now inhale and look out in front of you. You can keep holding onto your ankles. And exhale, bring your hands to your hips. And inhale your breath as you come up. Excellent. Take your two blocks, and I'm going to have them on my big side, or the tall side here. And I'll stand on my blocks, and I'm going to step wide. I'm going to step the right leg forward, wide, right toes forward. Left leg back, and I don't have a block, but pretend you do. Rotate that outer left thigh in. Right? And then I'm going to come down, Parsvottanasana. Now here, what I want to do is drag the outer right foot back, and I want to shift my weight into the top of that right leg, pulling the right hip back. Let me turn this way, guys, so you can see. So the blocks are out in front to give me length, and then this foot presses, and watch where it goes. It draws back. So I'll be here. I'm going to bend this knee and try to keep that foot where it is, drag the hip back. Then I'm going to try to step up and over, take the left leg up. If I can go a little bit deeper, I'll bring one hand at a time to the hip. Got to have this leg active. Here. And again, we go back with a bent knee, taking our time, and come back to Parsvot, and come up and switch. Okay, so start with the blocks in your hands. Step your right leg forward and your left leg back. Now rotate your outer left hip in towards your inner right knee. So here's your outer left hip, and it turns in towards that inner right knee like this, chest forward. Now, exhale, come forward, place your blocks. Take them in front. Take them way out in front. We're going to hold here a moment. Take your blocks in front. Fingertips or hands. Draw your outer right foot down, and then drag, energetically drag the yoga mat behind you with your outer right foot. Drag the yoga mat behind you with your outer right foot. One more time. Drag the yoga mat behind you with your outer right foot. Leslie, bring your blocks back a little bit closer. There you go. Now, you guys, exhale your breath. Pull your outer right hip back, bend your right knee, and stay here. Hold a little bit deeper. Bend the right knee. Now draw the outer right hip back. I want you to shift right over the top of your right knee, your right hip. Take your left leg up. You can take your right hand in an L shape to your right hip. Draw your outer right hip back. So take your outer right hip and move it towards your inner left foot. Hold your blocks. Hold your blocks or hold your mat for now. Good. Draw your outer right hip back. Firm your left leg. Point your left toes. One hand up at a time to the hips. Torso leveled or parallel to your mat. Continue to draw that outer right hip back. Right hip back. Point your left toes. Bend your right knee. Come back down. Bring your left foot back down to your mat. Bend your elbows, put your hands on your blocks, fold, touch your nose to your knee. Touch your nose to your knee, guys, and I want you to draw your outer right hip back, draw your outer right hip back, straighten your right knee, straighten your left knee. Put your nose against your right knee. Let your torso descend. That's great, Hannah, great. Look out in front of you, push down in your blocks, and release. You can bend the right knee and step the left leg up. Perfect. Excelente. And then we'll stand tall for a moment. Make sure you're in Tadasana, and then left leg forward, right leg back. Now this outer left hip goes back always. Even before you fold, it draws back. Now, come forward and move your hands down out in front of you on top of your blocks. Now, this is a tough one, guys, because your foot is in control. You want to use that foot and also your ankle bones, remember. Inner left ankle bone, take it out towards your outer left ankle bone. That makes a huge difference. Now tuck your outer left ankle bone in, and this outer left hip, watch, draw back, draw back, draw back. Now you'll bend that left knee, and that gives you the opportunity to shift right over that left hip, draw it back. You can keep your hands against your block, shift over your left leg, come up very slowly, find all four corners of that left foot. Now your outer left hip really needs to come into your inner right heel. Inner right heel. Inner right heel is where that outer hip goes. Focus your gaze in front of you. Draw your belly button back. Firm your right leg. Make sure it's very strong. One hand up at a time. Y'all look excellent. Keep pulling your outer left hip back. If your weight is over your left knee, you won't balance. Take your outer hip back. Wonderful. And then bend the knee, come back down. Your right foot presses into the mat. Now fold, nose to the knee. Hands can stay out in front against the blocks even. Let's drag the outer left hip back. Drag the outer left hip back. Perfecto. Push down to straighten the elbows. Good. And then come up. You can step the legs up. Perfect. This is a really tough way. There's a lot of different ways to do Warrior 3, but I'm really trying to emphasize the use of this outer hip, this greater trochanter, the bone here. So you want to find yourself over this bone and this bone tucking in. Let me see if I can do this. I don't know. So what I'm going to do, I think, is I'm going to start, and maybe you have blocks, but I'm going to start kind of in a lunge. Actually, you can even start here. And then I'll come here, and I'm going to keep the right knee bent and keep the torso leveled. And then I want to step up, draw the right hip back, and come up. So that's not how we're going to do it. How we're going to do it is like this, a big lunge, like a Warrior 1 almost, like this. Right knee bent, left leg back, right? Here. Draw your hip back, take your arms up, bring your torso down, draw your hip back, come up. Okay, that's hard, but we'll try it. So come with your right leg in front. Actually, right leg in front, left leg back, and come into a lunge, like you're doing a Warrior 2, but without your arms up. So take your right knee and bend your right knee and push to your back heel. Take your arms up with an inhale, exhale, bring your torso forward, and bring it right on the top of your right leg bone. And now draw your outer right hip back, shift your weight over your right leg, bring your left leg up. Excelente. Focus your gaze on your mat. Perfect. Bend the right knee, come back down, and switch sides. Excellent, guys. What I want is this hip. Now it's the left one, but it has to go back. So you're here, and this hip is really going forward, but watch. It goes back. And when I come down, it wants to go forward too. I want to draw it back, so I've got the space to step right over the top of that left leg. Do you see? So you've got to find that hip bone to your heel. Outer left hip bone to your outer left heel. Okay. So left leg is in front. Right leg is behind. You're in a lunge. Take your arms up. Exhale your breath, shift forward and rest your torso on the top of your left leg. Pull your left hip back. Pull your left hip back, draw it back, step over the hip, bring the right leg up. Find that outer hip bone, the outer left hip bone, draw it back towards your back foot. That's it, Kelly, breathe, breathe, breathe. Everyone take the hip back, that's excelente. Excellent, and then release, bend the knee, release. Perfecto. And that's all that we're going to do for that. But I'm going to come to the mat, center mat, and you may use your blocks or you don't have to, but the legs and the feet are out wide, 10 toes are forward, and then I'll come here, right? And so we're just going to stay here for a moment. I think what I'm going to do is once I get my blocks out in front of me, move the leg bones back, then I'll see if I can bring the hands down. This is the one where we move the nose to the right knee first, but I've really got to press to the left and descend the outer hip like this. You see? And then we'll come back and go to the left, and then we'll come back and see how far we can come down to the mat. So legs are wide, guys, and 10 toes face forward. Now, before you go all the way, make sure you're rotating your inner thighs in and back. So this internal rotation. Bring the hands down to the blocks or down to the mat. Now, press your inner ankle bones out. Tuck your outer ankle bones in. So don't go anywhere yet until we've got those outer ankle bones tucking in and your inner ankle bones tucking out and your kneecaps lifted up. Good, good, good. Take your legs a little bit wider, Kelly, and then your blocks can be they can be closer to you too. There you go. That's great. Stay here, guys. Stay here. You're on the palms of your hands. Your elbows are straight, inner eyes of your elbows forward. Press all four corners of your feet. Can you tear your mat in half by taking your inner ankle bones out? Tear your yoga mat in half, kind of rip it in half by taking your inner ankle bones out. Good. Now, keep your legs very firm and go ahead and twist to your right, and you're going to move your nose to your right knee. You can use your left hand to the back of that right ankle, pull your nose to your knee, start to turn your left back ribcage away from your spine. Make sure that you've shifted forward so you're not behind your hips. Good. Perfect. Go the opposite way. Release very slowly. Move over to the left knee. Draw the nose to the knee. Spread the inner ankle bones. Tuck the outer ankle bones in. Pull your mat in two with your inner feet. That's great. That's great. That's great. That's great. Try to keep that sacrum even. Now come back to the center. And with a huge exhalation, heaviness in the forearms, heaviness in the elbows, let them rest on the mat. Let them rest on the mat. Good. Take the inner ankle bones out. Tuck the outer ankle bones in. Grab your ankles with your hands. Lift your ankle bones up. Look out in front of you. Bring your hands to your hips. Keep your legs firm. Come up. Perfect. And you can step or jump the feet. Excelente. Perfect. On the mat we go. And so let's do this. I looked over at Joan because y'all know what's coming. It's this pigeon pose, but from pinwheel. I've been doing it lately. And so what I'm going to do is take a blanket to the left. And let's see if we can just go right into it. So I'll turn this way. So I'll bend the right knee in front and line the shin bone up. And I'll take a blanket to the left side, bend the left knee 90, and put the inner left knee on the blanket. Then what I want to do is kind of keep moving over to my left. So you lift that inner knee up and you extend it to the left, and you try to get your sitting bones leveled. So we see if we can bring that, oh my goodness, we can bring that left sitting bone down without letting that outer right knee come up. See, so you can press down into that inner left foot and try to get your two hip points to come forward. but while you're descending that left sitting bone. And maybe it's just going to be heavy. I don't know. We should do something about this, though. Sit, don't watch, guys. So some of you, and it could just be what happens when you sit with your legs like this. Some of us are like this. So we want to really roll that left buttock flesh down into the mat. And it
sort of to kind of do that?
Yeah, you can use your inner left knee to press it down and then see, or the foot, and then see if you can bring the buttocks down. Now what happens is we put a lot of weight on the right sitting bone, and I want you guys to correct that. So I want you to take less weight and move less weight onto your right sit bone, less weight. Good, 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 good. Now, I don't have a blanket, but let's go ahead and see how far we can get with this. So I'm here, and I want you guys to watch. While you're here, watch. So remember, this right sit bone should be light against the yoga mat. And then in pinwheel, I'm going to lift the right sit bone up and take it back. And then I'm going to bring my chest right over that inner right shin. I'm holding on to my right foot with my left hand. Don't round, move your navel out. And from here, I'm going to very slowly stay low with the torso. Extend that left leg back. Now watch the left knee. Watch the left knee, guys. Watch the left knee. Lift it up and rotate it so that entire knee comes down, and look at your left heel. It goes to the left. Okay, so you take your time. Hold on to your right leg. Don't let your right leg shift on you. Come forward. Draw your outer right hip back. Modify this by staying where you are if that's as far as you can go. If you can come forward, straighten your left leg and bring it straight out against your mat. So your left leg moves in, and everyone, I want you to press the front of your left ankle down, press your left toes down, and see if you can roll to the pinky side of your left foot. That's it, breathe. That entire outer left side body should rotate. It comes down towards that right foot. Keep rolling it. Take your back toes down and your back knee up. Everyone, bring your back toes to the mat. Lift your back knee. Now roll your left heel to the left, and then bring the knee down. Good. And then come out, and we'll switch. Perfect. We've been doing this lately, so the second time, you know now what this is going to be like. Well, most of you do, but some of you don't. But you can change that blanket. So if you don't need it here, maybe you put it behind you so that when you straighten your right leg, that knee is supported against the prop. You could do that. Or you could even take it and put it underneath the left sit bone like this. So I'm in that same pose, but now I've got that blanket under my left sitting bone, which does this. It moves me to the right. You see, it moves me so that I'm not here, but that I'm kind of shifting evenly. And then I want to bring that right sitting bone down. And remember, we stay here for a moment. So blanket to the outer left hip works. Blanket behind you for the right knee works. Or blanket out to the right for your inner right knee. Whichever is comfortable, but stay in your in your pinwheel. So when you're in this pinwheel and you try to bring your right sitting bone down, watch what happens to your left knee. So when you're in pinwheel and you try to bring that right sitting bone down, you try to descend so it comes to the mat, what happens sometimes is that left outer knee will lift up, right? And we want to keep that left outer knee grounded. That's great, guys. I want you to try to level your hip points. Can you line your right hip point up forward? That takes a teeny bit of a twist without lifting the bottom. Yeah, so trying to make that right hip point go towards the left knee, but without lifting your buttocks up. Now, as you exhale the breath, go ahead and let's lift our right knee up and extend it out to the right a little bit further, and then lean with it. Lean with it. Now go forward and fold over your left shin. Fold over your left shin and begin to take that right leg behind you. That's it. That's it. So Henna, do me a favor and bring your back toes to the mat and lift your back knee up. So yeah, push them into the mat so you can lift your back knee up. So like this. Yeah, now lift your back knee up. Now come off of your left hip completely and roll all the way over to your right. That's your left. So yeah, that's it. That great, 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 great. Great. Stay there, and without worrying about that left hip, try to bring the right knee down. That's great. There you go. Perfect. So that's excelente. Yeah, her face is like, excelente. Now, that's great, Kelly. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Everyone take your outer right foot here and try to roll it to your mat and press. That's great. That's great. Great. Aiden, see if you can press your right foot into the mat, right toes, right toenails. Good. Now roll to the outer right foot. Great. And then you guys release. Y'all are releasing anyway. I didn't even say release. And I saw a couple of heads going, yeah. And it's like, yes, okay. All right, perfect.
Did it for half a second.
Joan says she did it for half a second. Okay, so let's see. This is another fire loggy thingy. Actually, this is Gomukhasana legs, and we'll do the modified and we'll do the real one, okay? So the modified, I'm gonna sit on the blanket at the very edge of my blanket, and I like coming into this like this, and I'll show you from the side too, but I'm at the edge and I'm going to lean back and take my feet up. Just kidding. You don't have to do that part, but that's fun. And so if you do want to add that in, feel free. So I'm going to lean back and then I'm going to bring my right knee over my left like this. So you start here, you lean back and do your feet. Synchronized swimming or something. Yeah, like. And then when you... Very good, guys. I think we need to get a show together. Look at Lisa. Yeah, I think we need to get a show.
Yes. Yes.
Joan's in the background going, yes. I don't swim, but I think I can do it. So here, and cross right over left knee. And then come forward, have your feet and your legs out wide. Come forward. Place your outer feet against your mat. Now you're on your blanket, so you're going to roll forward with your blanket. Roll with your blanket until your outer feet come against the mat. And let's take our feet wide, so not near your blankets. Move them out so they look like the cow's ears. So this is the cow face, and these are the ears. Doesn't make sense, but that's what they say. Now, let's stay. That's great. That's great. Maybe, Grace, can you bring your feet forward some? Great. Now, what happens is that top hip, the top knee wants to do this, right? So what I want you guys to do is I want you to draw your top knee foot down. So for me, it's the right. I'm going to draw the right foot down. I'm going to lean to the left, and I'm going to really pull that right hip back. Lean to your left and draw your outer right knee and your outer right hip back. Now, one hand at a time to your feet, and go ahead and turn the feet all the way up to the ceiling and bring the base of your big toe joint down. So it's that big toe that you want to come to your mat. Can you guys get that? Now, bring your right knee down towards your left knee. Bring your right knee down. Don't round. Do this. Inhale, move your navel away from your pubic bone. Exhale through your nose and fold. Keep that right knee drawing down. Keep your outer left knee drawing down. Now move your navel towards your knees, and then take your bottom, your sitting bones, and roll them into your low back. And then come up. Yeah, so you're trying to stack the knees, and if you notice, mine really aren't stacked, so this hip is pretty tight. What I really needed to do to get that right knee over the left is I needed to go here. Now, do you see how that is more stacked? So focus on those knees stacking over the other. Now, when you come out of that, go here again, your little synchronized swim thing that you want to do. Yep. And then it's the left, left over the right, the feet are wide, and then you come forward slowly, and I'm really focusing on bringing those outer feet down, but feet wide. Do you see I'm wiggling my feet over left and right? Do that. And you'll find more, you'll get more compacting, and you'll also get that heaviness at the upper leg. So, see if you can get your outer ankle bones, since we've been working with the ankle bones, see if you can bring your outer ankle bones straight down into your yoga mat. Maybe make indentions with your ankle bones to your mat. Now, let's go ahead and let's lean over to the right, and let's wiggle this left foot over. Take your left foot over to the right more. Now take your right foot over to the left, then come back centered. Press your outer left knee down. Draw your outer left hip back. Grab your feet, turn them up. And it's that big toe side that goes down. Ankle bones press down and then come forward. Now, as you come forward, you've got to drag your outer knees back. Guys, when you're coming forward, pull your inner left knee into your right knee. Does that make a difference? That should articulate at the outer hip. So draw that top knee not only down, but almost pull it back. Good, 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 good. And then come up. That's excellent, guys. Yep. Your hips always go back and line up. Oh, that's a good one, Hannah. So we'll do that one too. So you could stay on your blankets or you could sit on the mat, but I'm going to take knees are bent, and I just go ahead and grab the two big toes. And you can straighten one knee at a time. So I'll shift back, lift the feet, and maybe one knee, the Upavista Konasana 2. And you lift the chest. Lift the chest. Maybe spread the elbows out. Great. And then exhale. You can bend the knees. Let's bring the soles of our feet, Baddha Konasana. Grab your inner feet and open the soles of your feet like a book to the ceiling. And then exhale, come forward. Just come as far forward as you can without rounding your spine. So watch me, guys. I want you to press your heels, bring your outer ankle bones down, and watch the belly. Stretch the navel away from the pubic bone. Draw your feet and your ankle bones down to get the rounding out of the spine. Good. And then come on up. Exhale, bring the knees together. You can hold behind the knees and just extend the legs out in front. Perfecto. Yes. Well, now we got a team of synchronized swimmers. Are y'all all in? Okay, good. I won't give you a chance to say anything. All right, so I'm going to take my blanket and I'm going to come supine. And I'm going to put this blanket, have a strap as well, and a block nearby. But for now, I'm going to lift the bottom and tuck, and then I'll come down to the elbows, and then I'll come grounded. Now I've got this blanket right behind the back of my head, and the smooth edge of that blanket just kind of lines up with the top of my shoulders. You don't need your strap or your blocks right now, but we'll probably do souped up in a little bit. But for now, you just come here. And then when you come down, guys, you've got to kind of lift and tuck. Watch, I even use the hands. Lift the bottom and really move the posterior pelvis down. That feels wonderful. And then I'll take my arms out, bring your knees together and your feet up. Take your knees over to your left. Try to keep your breastbone lined up to the ceiling. You can look over to your right. So as you're taking your knees to the left, look to your right. And then I've got, if you notice, my breastbone is no longer facing the ceiling. So I need to bend the elbows, bring them against the mat, lift up and really twist. So now my sternum is lined up to the ceiling. That really does reflect in my lower back. Do you see? So it depends on the flexibility or the tightness of your lower back, whether you can really keep your breastbone up to the ceiling. So check this. And what you can do is you can bend your elbows and you lift your left shoulder blade off of your mat and you really pull it out to the left. You exaggerate that. And then you want to bring back the backs of both of your arms down. And you want to move. Let's begin to slightly twist our belly button to the right as you look to the right. That's it. Try to ground this outer right rib cage to the mat. Perfect, guys. Bring the knees up and go opposite. That's excellent. So arms go out. Now knees go to the right, and I let them go, and then I adjust. So they fall all the way over, and then notice that my left side is completely off of my mat. Bend your elbows, lift your right shoulder blade up, and watch where it goes. All the way out to the right, as I almost twist to the left. So when you lift your right shoulder blade up and take it to the right, twist to the left some, so that you draw that outer left side body down. Now, if you want to hold your knees against each other, you can, or you can just kind of rest here. Move your navel to the left, look to the left. Oh, do y'all find that a challenge? I do. Move your belly button to the left, look to the left, and try to ground your entire back rib cage, both sides, left and right. Perfect. And then let's bring it back to the center. I'm going to go opposite of what you guys, just so you can see me. So I'm going to bring the knees up again, and I've already checked breastbone to the ceiling, arms are out. So I'll let my knees go over to the left again, and then watch. I've got to lift up and really adjust the shoulder blade. So as I lift one shoulder blade up, I draw the opposite outer rib down. So I'm here. And then from here, I'm going to lift and kind of push the hips back. Make sure the breastbone's to the ceiling, and I'll straighten one knee at a time. Now, if you notice, this left foot is so far behind the right, but I'm going to try to twist to the left, maybe bring the feet up and hold the feet with my right hand, roll this outer left hip down, twist to the left. Okay, so take your knees up, your knees and your feet up, your knees and feet are together. Take your knees over to the left, your knees are bent, and just let your knees come grounded first. Your knees are bent and they come grounded. Let them come all the way down. That's great, everybody. Stay here. Now adjust your shoulder blades. Lift and twist so that you bring your sternum, your chest directly up to the ceiling. That's excelente. You guys look over to your right. So your knees are to your left. I want you to look to your right, towards your right hand. I want you to try to twist your belly button to the right. Now straighten both of your knees, and you can do this one knee at a time. Let them rest over to the right. Notice maybe you've got one foot behind the other. Now you can move your feet up, grab your toes, and then when you do that, I want you guys to roll your outer hip away from you and twist. Try to ground that back right body. Great, great, great. Now, as you exhale, bend the knees, release the feet. Perfect. Bring them up slowly, place them on the mat. and then go the other direction. Now, listen, if you need a modification, Kelly, if you can't get both of your legs straight and over to the side, so when you come here, you don't have to necessarily straighten both of your legs, maybe one. You see either one? I think that top knee, if that top knee can straighten, that's a lot. That's pretty intense. So that's a modify if you cannot straighten both of your knees when you take your legs over to the side. You see, that's just simply really, I find it to be flexibility in the upper back, your thoracic spine and around the chest. That's it. That's great. That's great. That's great. That's great. So your knees go over opposite, and once you get there, line your breastbone up. Twist opposite of your feet with your belly. Look opposite of your feet. And then at some point, you can bring your feet up close to that hand, grab your toes. And then roll your top hip away. Wonderful, guys. Okay, and then you guys bend your knees and let's come back to the center. I took my blanket and just made it longer. I mean, I unfolded it some from the way that we were lying on it a minute ago. And I've got my yoga strap and a block. And I'm gonna come into Setu Bandha Sarvangasana with my middle thighs strapped. And when you bring your block down, my blanket's gonna go under the back of my head and my shoulders just to give me some height, right? And so come down, and again, shoulders and the back of the head are here. Sometimes we do this different with a different blanket fold, but this is enough, I think. So head and shoulders strap right on the middle of your thighs. Knees and feet still remain apart, right? And then you lift up, and I'm trying, lately I've been working on lifting with my feet flat. You lift your hips, you extend your quadriceps towards your knees, and bring your block at your sacrum. And then here you can relax your arms, and maybe you're able to straighten your knees. Or maybe you're not. Now your feet can also press into a wall with the backs of your legs parallel. Or you can keep your knees bent. You don't have to straighten your knees. That's completely up to you. But I tell you what, that belt on the legs feels wonderful, really. It really does. And I didn't say this, but if that block is too tall on the tallest level, bring it down to the medium or to the low level. It doesn't have to be on the highest level. But what you do want to do is you want to control your knees and your feet. So your inner knees still line up together and they move down towards your mat. Good, good, good. And remember where your sacrum is. So your sacrum is above the plumber's cleavage. And if you're tight there, maybe you have a back issues, lower your block. Make your block lower or take it away completely, right? You can also practice this by just trying to lift your hips up without a prop. So if you don't have a block, but you're still working on strength. And you know, do y'all know that, well, and I'm sure you can imagine, but the strength for these back bends comes from the muscles in your back. You see, and I think a lot of us have weak back muscles because we do computer work and we drive and we do those things, so I think it weakens those muscles at the back, the ones that are responsible for us opening the chest. Yeah, so shoulders rolling forward and chest almost caving in, it's kind of become the posture of our society, right? So those muscles that are at the back of your body that help you open the front of your body can be not only tight, but weak.
One time, a long time ago, you said even babies in their car seat are kind of slumped over. You know, you said that.
Oh yeah, they are. Did I?
Because they're kind of, you know, babies in the car seat. You know, it's like right off the path. They're kind of, you know, start that you did. I remember it from a long time ago.
Yeah, and it's interesting. Joan was talking about when babies are in the car seats, they're kind of, the babies don't really hold their heads up right away, and their feet, their feet aren't, their legs and their hips and their feet, they're not all coordinated and strengthened up yet. Yeah, but whatever position you stay in is the position, it's almost like your body grows into that. And then it's hard to undo because scar tissue develops and...
Not babies, but yeah, as we were in computers.
Yeah.
That's right.
But just remember that it does take time to strengthen muscles. It takes a minute. It doesn't mean you have to jump around or lift weights or any of that, but being able to control and move and place your body in certain positions, very strengthening. Very strengthening. Okay, guys, so you guys can come on down. You can lift up. If your knees were straight, bend your knees, lift your bottom up, and take your your block away. You just roll down. You can roll down one vertebra at a time. And again, you're on your blanket, the back of your head, your shoulders, and as you come down, see how much length you can get in the lower back here. Perfect. And then let's bring our knees into the chest one at a time. Hug the knees. Open the chest. And then with your exhale, you can roll over to your right and bring yourselves up. And as we roll over to the right, push your hands into your mat. And before we do our inversion, we'll take a dog pose. So you'll come over and you'll come right to your hands and your knees. You can push yourselves into dog pose. Why don't we do this? Why don't we take a block, place the block, whatever level you need it, right under the chest, right under the breastbone. Then when you come up, let your forehead rest. We can use dog pose to release the back. So if you want a block underneath your forehead, you can do that. And it can be that tall block, medium block, or low block, but don't bend your elbows to get there. Let your head rest and let your belly rest. There you go. Work with your arms. So, you can bring a block under your chest if you want, like this. Yeah, and then when you come up, forehead is grounded, back of the head is relaxed, back of the neck is relaxed. Push those leg bones back, guys. Use those legs. Really get the legs working. But try to relax the belly and the face. Focus on the feet. Take the inner ankle bones out. Bring the outer ankle bones in. Move the ears in line with the upper arms. Good. And then release. Perfect. Come down and prepare for your inversion. So for me, I'm going to do Shirsasana. It can be handstand, headstand, legs up the wall. If you're not going to invert because you're menstruating or you've got a neck injury or something like that, you can stand on your 2 feet and fold and press Haritha Padottanasana. But remember, you can also take your legs up the wall. Now listen, if you're going, so Grace, this is our new way that we do headstands. I don't know if you're going to do a headstand, but we interlace, when we interlace the fingers, they face you. So you interlace with the fingers facing you where you could see them. So the interlace is like this. And church people in the church, or the steeple. And then you bring your hands back here behind your head, fingers are facing you, right? Cup, and then let those thumbs relax and support the cervical spine. So the elbows tuck in. So when you're doing this, guys, make sure that you've got your outer hands against the mat or the blanket. Your outer wrists, the pinky sides of your hands, and your elbows are in. So when you bring your head down, find comfort in how you've got your hands placed against your head. Because remember, this is support. So to stabilize the cervical spine, use the thumbs. Use the thumbs to stabilize the cervical spine. They face you, fingertips face, elbows tuck in. You're right on the top of the head. When you take your legs up, it's a strong leg up. And then once you get both of your legs up, guys, let them relax. Let your legs relax. Yep. Make sure your elbows are in. Now make sure you can feel that outer wrist, elbows. You can feel your hands, your fingertips. Really use them to control your head. Control the cervical spine. Good, good, good. And then you guys can exhale if you're in Shirsasana and come on down. Now for Shirsasana, stand and fold in Uttanasana. And here the backs of your hands can relax. You can hold the back of the head at the occipital. Just kind of draw down to give a little space. Or you can simply just relax. Okay? So it doesn't, you can do either one, but let your arms, upper arm bones relax, sides of the neck and the back of the neck. Perfecto. Ah, very nice, guys. And then take an exhalation and you can come down onto your mats. Perfecto. And take your straps and let's take a block for Supta Padangusthasana. And so I've just got this block right out to the outer right hip. You can use a wall for your feet or you don't have to, but if you have a wall and you're using it, let's watch how we come down. So once you come down, my knees are bent, my feet go to the wall, watch. And to the knees are straight. The belly button comes down and you've got lots of space in the lower back. Your block will go right outside of your hip. We'll bend the right knee. We'll place the strap around. Let's do the heel today. So the heel of the right foot, and then watch, I'm going to push very strongly into the strap. Also pull the strap into the heel and then straighten, okay? And then we'll go from there, okay? So once you get your lying down, make sure that you've got no space between your lower back and your yoga mat, that you've spread the back muscles. And then when you get there, you've gotten the back body against the mat. You'll bend your right knee, and let's take the strap around the heel. Remember, there's a difference. It feels different depending on where you place your strap. Lisa, take it back a little bit to the center heel bone, if that's even such a thing. Okay, and then straighten your knee. She's like, the what? It's just an anatomical term I made up, just kidding. Now draw down on the center heel bone. Take your leg bones back. Can you make your right buttock flesh as long as your left buttock flesh? How would you do that? Externally rotate your outer right hip. All right, guys, keep holding your strap with both hands. Now, I want you to pull down with your left hand and let the sole of your right foot rotate to the left. Pull down with your left hand and let the sole of your foot turn. So watch. With my left hand, I'm going to go straight down. Do you see? And if you notice the hip, watch the hip. It reminds me of a ballerina. So this outer hip rotates down, sole of my foot going to the left. Then I'm going to keep the sole of the foot to the left and take the right leg out to the right. But I want you to really adjust that foot and see if you can get the sole of your foot. It's if your foot is active, but turn the sole of the foot towards you or to the left. That's great, Grace. There you go. Rotate the foot, sole of the foot turns towards the shoulder, so the sole of the foot turns towards you or up to the ceiling. And notice how that articulates in that outer lateral right buttock. That's great. Push the floor down with your left leg. Move your belly button to the left. Look to the left. Ground the left side of your body. Perfect. Bring your right leg up slowly. Keep your right leg moving towards your chest. Grab your strap with your left hand. This is tough. Now, with your left hand, I want now you to turn the sole of the foot again like you're going to step on the mat. So the outer right foot rotates down. And then take that right leg to the left. But try to reach into your foot, especially the pinky side of your right foot. Try to step down on the mat. So Aiden, if you were going to stand on that right foot, try to get the sole of the right foot on the mat. That's it, Grace. Grace, bend your elbow a little bit and let your toes move. Oh, you're perfecto. Now, everyone bring your femur bone back and bring your outer hip down. Look to your left. Look opposite of your foot. That's it. Rotate the spine, rotate the belly button. Now, can you draw your outer right hip, your outer right buttock flesh back against your mat? And then bring the leg up. Bend the knee and we'll switch. Perfect. Perfect. Supta Padangusthasana. We'll heal sciatica or piriformis syndrome, or maybe they have new names for it. But done with care, done with awareness, right? Done correctly. You see, so those leg bones are really opening that piriformis muscle that's in your bottom. So your femur bones always go back because that makes the buttock flesh longer. Okay, go the other direction. So your block can move over to your outer left hip. And then when you bend your left knee, put your strap around your foot and press up. So don't bring your foot here, but bring it back and have that goal of moving this leg bone back and opening that outer left hip. Now pull down with your right hand. And not only do you pull down, but you kind of turn so that left kneecap rotates to the left. And then grab up to the top of the strap with your left hand. Really roll that outer left hip. I can feel that without even moving the leg here. So the foot and then the heel. And then take your left leg out to the left. Go up and over your block. You want to bring your right side down. You can look to your right. Make sure your left kneecap is moving towards the mat, meaning it's facing down. But there's no space under your right side. It's completely against your mat. Now bring your left leg up. Switch the hand that holds your strap. To me, this is the toughest one because you're going to really open up the sole of your foot towards your mat as if you're going to stand on your foot. You can imagine bringing that foot down and then standing on it. So the outer foot reaches. Look opposite of your foot. Twist your spine, your navel opposite, your gaze opposite. Try to stay level at your breastbone. And then bring your left femur bone to the back of your left leg. Roll your outer left hip down. Now see if you can draw the buttock flesh against the mat. Very good. Bring the leg back to the center. Perfect. And release. I'm going to take my right leg up. You don't need your block this time. I'm going to go right leg. This time I'm going to put the strap around the base of the toes. And I want to press. Watch that outer right hip. Draw it down. And then I'll lift up and pull the nose to the knee. And then we'll switch sides, okay? So you're still supine, you still have your lower back against the mat. There's always that spreading. Put the strap around the base of your toe joints, but press up into the strap as if you're going to push the gas pedal with your right big toe. That's it. That's great. Now lift your head, lift your shoulders, straighten your right knee. When you're lifting your head and shoulders, move your right thigh bone away from your nose. So your right thigh bone moves back as you keep engaging the core to come meet the nose to the knee. Great. And then release. Good. Lower down slowly and switch sides. Perfect. 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 So this is an engagement of the abdominals, of the core muscles. You're almost kind of, what is the word? You You almost become a little bit hollow in the abdominals when you're lifting up to take the nose to the knee, right? So, yeah, it is. It's like you engage the muscles, not only in the core, but in the back. So pull down on your strap, move that leg away, and when you come up, do you see how you've kind of, think of a crunch? I don't think they do those anymore. I guess they're not correct. I don't know. Lisa would be able to tell us. But when you come up and you pull this leg and try to press that right leg down, and that femur bone goes away from you, away from you, away from you. And you do have lots of engagements to the foot through the strap and through your hands. Now turn your outer left hip away, engage the core muscles, lift up, touch the nose to the knee. Great, great. And then exhale, release. Perfect, guys. Okay, you can put your straps to the side, stay on your mat, and come crossed at your mid-shins. Sukhasana, and it doesn't matter which leg you bring in first, but instead of your knees out wide, go ahead and bring your knees so your knees tuck in towards your midline. And I've never really tried this with the blanket, but I guess you could. If you have trouble keeping your low back against the mat, it could be here. Or you could even sit on it. Happy days, Fonzie. Well, you have to be a certain age. Some of you out there are like, who? The who? The what? The happy who? Happy days, guys, happy days.
Before March.
Yeah, Henry Winkler, y'all probably only know him as, is he still alive? Who is he, like 90 now? Anyway. Oh, he sells Medicare to the seniors.
So happy days.
Okay, let's stop talking about that now because I lost what I've lost. What do you call that when you go down the, yeah, hey. Okay, I forgot what I was doing now. Okay, so take your right leg and lift your right foot up and bring your outer right ankle bone to your inner left knee. You almost hook that ankle over. And then let your right leg, right outer hip relax. Don't press with your foot, but relax. So if you want to make any adjustments, it would be on you moving that left foot forward or closer to you. But the top leg wouldn't adjust. That leg is heavy. That's it, Grace. Don't press, but let it relax. Through heaviness, through relaxation, you'll notice your outer left leg will come closer to the mat. The more you relax, the more you let go. Don't try to force. And let your top knee be relaxed, and that top leg does whatever it needs to do or whatever it's doing. Nothing. Okay, switch sides. I would keep us there longer, but somehow, I don't know how, I ran out of time. Oh, this happens. There you go. And if you relax enough, you will feel almost a letting go of those outer hip muscles, yeah? Mm-hmm. Yeah, you'll feel this kind of release, and it's a subtle thing, but you'll start to notice, man, that leg is all the way down, and what it's going on is on that bottom hip, you're opening the hip flexor completely. Good, keep resting here, and again, try to let that top leg relax. Don't press it. So you never want to press on your knee, but you just want to let it rest there pretty heavily. And let that outer leg, bottom leg, just begin to relax and release to the mat. Okay, and we have to release, guys. So from here, come for Shavasana. So if you want, you can tie your feet with a strap and just recline on your mat. Really, in the studio, what we were doing before we left was we were taking one blanket for the back of the head, and the shoulders were kind of lined up against that blanket. You can also use your feet to a wall like this. You can place a blanket under your knees or take your legs up the wall if you want. You can take your legs up the wall. You can put your legs in a chair or against the sofa. But once you get here, let your arms move out to the sides with your palms up. Close your eyes and take an exhalation of your breath. And surrender yourselves to the mat. Allow your entire body to become very heavy. And this isn't just the muscles and it isn't just the bones, but it's also the internal organs, the brain, the heart, the internal organs of your abdominal area. Just as you exhale, let these organs begin to move towards the back body. Make sure that the upper and the lower jawbone is relaxed and that your tongue is resting at the base of the mouth. Begin to deepen your breath. You can move your awareness back into the room. Small movements in your fingers and in your toes when you're ready. Bend the elbows. You can bring your hands to your belly or to your heart. Stretch the arms up and over your head, full body stretch. You can bring the abdominal wall towards the mat as you reach with your arms. Release your arms to your side body and just let them rest there for a moment. Bend the knees one knee at a time. Place your feet on the mat, the floor, the wall, the chair. Make sure to tuck your sacrum and then bring your knees into your heart one at a time or both. And you can wrap your arms around your knees and any movements it's side to side or front to back. And then roll over onto the right and hold there, fetal position. You can use the right arm or the right hand to support the head. and then bring the left hand to the mat or floor. Bring yourselves up seated. When you come seated, your hands can go heart center, thumbs third eye, your hands just resting at your legs. Take a moment in silence, honoring the true self. If the foundation is firm, the building can withstand anything. Yoga is the foundation so that the self is converted into the subject. Space brings precision. Precision brings freedom. Freedom brings truth, or satya. Satya is divine. Thank you guys very much for being here. Namaste.